I never imagined a cup of coffee could change my life. But I guess that's how these things go. I've worked at the local coffee shop for about 2 years now. It's a quiet place, tucked away in the corner of a busy street. I know the regulars by name, their usual orders. Some like it black, some with extra foam, others drowning in sugar. My job isn't glamorous, but it's peaceful, and there's something comforting about the routine. At least it was peaceful until she walked in. It was a Tuesday afternoon, one of those gray days when the world feels muted. I was wiping down the counter when the bell above the door jingled, and in walked a girl with the kind of presence that immediately shifts the air. Her name was Lily, though I wouldn't know that yet. She had a soft laugh that sounded like sunlight breaking through clouds, and the way she looked around made it seem like she was discovering the place for the first time. She ordered a cappuccino, half sweet, with an extra shot of espresso, and took a seat by the window. I couldn't help but glance over at her as I worked, my hands moving on autopilot as I steamed milk and pulled shots of espresso. She seemed different, like she didn't quite fit into this world of caffeine-fueled chaos and quiet conversations. I told myself I wasn't going to stare, but when I brought her cappuccino to her table, I caught her eyes. And that was it. That's when everything changed. She smiled, that soft, genuine smile that made me feel like the world had just gotten a little brighter. "Thank you," she said, her voice warm. I nodded, trying not to let the nerves crawl up my spine. "You're welcome." It wasn't much, just a quick exchange, but it stuck with me. The next few days she came back. At first it was just casual hellos and small talk about the weather or how her day had been, but then we started talking more about books, music, the kind of coffee she liked, the kind of books I liked. I started looking forward to the moments when she would come in. I'd find myself counting the hours until her shift ended, wondering if she'd stop by. Then, one day, she stayed a little longer. She'd been reading, but she closed her book and looked at me like she was deciding whether to say something. I leaned against the counter waiting for her to speak. I didn't want to push it, but I was desperate to know what was on her mind. "James, right?" she asked, a slight uncertainty in her voice. I smiled. "Yeah." "And you're Lily, right?" She laughed softly. "Oh yeah, I know it's a little weird, but you always seem to know what kind of coffee I need. It's like you read my mind." I chuckled. "I guess I just pay attention." She paused, glancing out the window. "I've been meaning to ask you, what's it like working here every day? It seems like a peaceful place." "Mostly yeah," I said, trying to keep the conversation light. "It's got its moments. I get to meet a lot of different people. Some days I think it's the people who make the place what it is. Like you." She looked at me again, her smile softer now, and something in her eyes made my heart skip a beat. It felt like there was more to her, something she wasn't saying. Something